How's it going, everyone? I've had a few comments, and I've had a few people ask me, how do you aim a slingshot, or can you do a how to use a slingshot video? And my wife and kids have been gotten into slingshot shooting recently, and I've been finding myself coaching a lot, so I figured I'd try to throw together a short video with some tips that helped me out when I was just getting into slingshot shooting. I'm no expert by any means, so that's what today's video is going to be. So when we think about slingshots, you think about holding them, you know, the old wrist rockets, hold them out like this, and that's the hammer style grip. But typically, slingshots, modern slingshots are held, most people shoot with them turned 90 degrees, like here. We'll use a pinch grip, hammer grip, like I showed you, or like I prefer, I use like a thumb brace, where you use your thumb to brace the frame. Another thing you'll need to know when you first get your slingshot is your draw length, which is where your bands attach. And this is another preference thing. When you pull back wherever your anchor point, you'll want to find an anchor point somewhere on your face. I usually line my thumb like right underneath my cheekbone when I shoot. So you'll need to know the distance from where your band's attached to your slingshot and how far to your anchor point. Measure that, you'll need to know that difference, and typically the general rule of thumb is divide that by 5, and that'll be your active band length, which is when your bands are relaxed, your length from the end here where they attach to the point where they attach on the slingshot will be your active band length. Mine's about 6 inches. I have about a 30-inch draw. This will be over the top, where you're shooting over the top of the forks. So your configuration will look like this. So when you pull your bands back and we're aiming, let's see how I can do this. And you're aiming, this corner is your reference point. And as you look down them, the bottom band should almost disappear underneath the top band. That means your bands are in line, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. You want this to be just like this, where it looks like one band. And then this corner will be your reference point or your sight. You will put that on your target. Draw back to your anchor point and send it. And you always pull your bands towards you over the top. This is my wife's slingshot. She just recently started shooting, and she likes to shoot through the forks, which her bands, as you can tell, she's shooting her ammo through the forks. So her reference point will be the middle of her top band. She'll pull that back to her anchor point, use the middle of the band here, and the top of the slingshot will be her reference point in her sight. She puts that on the target, make sure her bands are lined up. And that's what that's what through the forks will look like. Another thing we want to look at is your pouch. You got your ammo in your pouch. When you pull your ammo back, you want to pinch the ammo only. You want the ammo on top of your finger, and you want to just pinch the ammo. You don't want to pinch the pouch closed, because what that does is it creates, they call it, it's like a speed bump effect. When you let go, this has to jump over your finger and it will throw your shot off. The ends of your pouch should be open when you pull this back. Slow, relaxed release. As far as consistency with your shots, it's probably the release is the most important. Getting everything lined up, but if your release almost has to be perfect every time for your shots to be consistent. Our next thing is going to be distance. Typically most people shoot from about 10 meters or 33 feet, however you want to look at it. There's some people shoot 15, 20, which when you get better, you can stretch those distances out. But I think typically the standard is about 10 meters. And I would recommend shooting paper or cardboard or your own targets first, making adjustments, getting to where you can shoot. You're shooting in this area here and not all over, and then working your way to a can maybe because it's a bigger profile, and then working your way down to the spinner targets that you see everybody shooting. Now we got our target in front of us, time to put it all together. We're going to turn our feet 90 degrees, get them nice and square and comfortable. Double check, make sure our grip on our pouch is correct. It's time to draw back to our anchor point, look down our bands, make sure they're pointed straight at our target. And once our reference point is on target, we're going to just slowly release the pouch. And now we just practice, 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 more practice.
Oh, yes, practice.
All right, Isaiah, show them how it's done. Boom, we got it. It's spewing. There's the tips that I've got. These are just kind of general things to get you started. Yeah, get out there, have some fun, keep shooting. You got to shoot a lot to build good habits and create good form. Hopefully I've given you guys some good information, help somebody improve. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos. If I didn't cover something that you had questions about, anything like that, just hit me up in the comments. And hopefully I see you on the next one.